What's up, Humming Podcast? This is your boy Kavosky Irvin, the host. Thank you guys for tapping in with us this morning. It's about 4:30, and I've been up for quite a while reading one of my absolute favorite books right now. I can't even hold you. This book right now is weighing on me simply because I think it's time. It's time for me to feel the weight, and I couldn't be more happy about the feeling. Like, it's no need for me to hide it because this is Pulsating Books through Humans of the Ocean Science and my original account, XDOSCIENCE. This is the book right here that's weighing on me. Along Came a Spider by James Patterson. If you haven't read it, I encourage you to go read it because this is what I'm going to be talking about for the next little while and going forward. And you'll see that this information plays factors too. But there's many ways why this book weighs on me. If you are close to me, and you know me on a day-to-day scale, which is not very many people, you would know that James Patterson work has been in my life for a little while, but it's not really important in my life. Okay, how would I say that? It's been in my life, but I don't really involve it as a reader. It's not really something that I just like read and follow his messages and care about his book clubs and different stuff. But here recently, I got to the root because sometimes I struggle with opening my mind. Something will be right in my face, and I struggle with giving it the clarity or validity that it deserves, and saying, maybe it's not as deep as I'm making it. Maybe I'm making it more unreal or unnatural by saying like these things are out of reach. And so one thing I've been doing is keeping things in reach. And so when I reached out and was like, okay, James Patterson, I know his catalog. I know where his catalog resides. Let's see what he's really had. Let's see what he's really got. So I did, before I do anything, I'm in the Word of God. I'm searching. I'm saying, okay, what is the truth? What is the truth? What is the truth? Looking for Jesus in anything. And in this, that came in the form of, where did it begin? Why is it here? Why did it start? I was questioning, why? Why would I go into his field of writing when I have been granted through my spiritual gifts? I already have the gift of writing. I don't need anything from this man. Nothing. I need nothing from him. And so I wanted to know the why, the essence of it. So simply, I found it. I reached and I said, let's see what he got. And I discovered that one book that I really always would hear about this guy was a book called Along Came a Spider. Didn't really matter to me, but I did hear it many times. And so when I heard this book, Along Came a Spider by James Patterson, I said, okay, well, let me go ahead and tap in, right? Let me go see what this book is talking about. So when I got into after a little time, I started to reach out and say, okay, it's not unattainable. Let me go for it. I reached to my public library and checked out that book, Along Came a Spider. At this point, before I even did that, in my possession, I had, let me show you how obsessive I am when it comes to this stuff. Because I'll show you this, and maybe you'll understand a little bit about what I'm talking about. Okay, boom. Here are 4 James Patterson books right here. Let's see. Here are 3 more James Patterson books. 2 more James Patterson books. here's an audiobook. And here simply is another audiobook. Oh, here's another one. And here's another audiobook. So I have another book too. This ought to tell you how obsessive I am about before I go into anything. Before I do anything. Boom, boom, boom. Then we're going to stack all these up so you can see the obsession. Boom. That's all these I purchased to have in my possession. The one book I really, really, really would want, I didn't purchase it. I didn't purchase it. I checked it out from a library. Is that crazy? I don't care. The one I really, really want, the one that really matters, is the one I don't own. That's a little bit about my walk in, according to reading, according to my gifts, is if you want something, allow God to give it to you first. Because in this world, everything that we truly need, He's already given it to us. So seek nothing of the world. This word of God says, any man who is a friend of the world is not a friend of God. And if there's anything in the world that the Lord has for me, and I thought it might be through this book, I will not go and try to obtain it through my own means. I'm just going to apply myself within the realm and acquire it and return it back to sender. Just like God said, when they gave him a question challenging his authority. By whose authority do you do these things? Who has one denarii? Okay, on this denarii is the face of Caesar. So therefore, render unto Caesar those things that are Caesar's, and to God those things that are God's, that belong to Him. I mean, you finna make me. I'm finna jump in the word because I gotta get it perfect. But y'all know what I'm talking about. If you know the word of God, you know the verse I'm talking about. And it's anything that's for His glory, I'm giving it to Him alone. And according to this world, I'm willing to sell every one of these books, even though I value them and I think they're amazing. I'm willing to give them up. This one right here, simply because it's got something. It's got a simple truth for me. As I continue to read it, I'm already on page 208. And y'all know, y'all don't know this part. I gotta tell y'all this. Y'all don't know this yet, so I gotta tell you. So I've read 2 novels in my whole life. This one is about to be the second. Well, I really only read 1 novel in my life, dog, and I love reading so much. That's crazy, right? It is crazy. I'm a big reader, but I don't read novels, dog. One thing I'm not gonna do is sit there and read no book before I write one. So I've written 8, and I read 1. So for I'm gonna write more than I read. That's just me. You feel me? The only one I ever read is this book right here. It's the only novel I've ever read from front to back. Front to back. I want to let y'all know I am live on Instagram right now, XDOSCIENCE. This is the only novel I ever read, front to back. And it's in mint condition. I keep a copy on me because it meant that I could do it. That's all that I really wanted to know for myself. You know, I could do it, man. And when I discovered that I could do it, I knew God had blessed me with patience and the ability to make my time mean something according to my mind. We have a million thoughts, but when you put thoughts into play and practice, and those thoughts build according to imagination, but not just imagination, it build according to analyzation, assessment, and the curating of what you experienced in your own life. When you build according to those things, and you relate in a book to someone else that you don't know yet, that's when you know God has done something for you. Simply, it could be anybody. It don't matter who you are. Any person is any person. There's more books in this world than there are people. I'm sure about it. But for every single person, I'm sure there's a book for each person. It don't matter if it's a little bitty baby just born. Because I donated a book to my church, and it was called a I Can Do This book. The book had cotton and strings and buttons and latches and different things. For a baby, all they have to do is feel it. It's essence. And it's like, I can do this. I can button. I can buckle. I can snap. I can, I can do this, And for a baby, there's books for everybody. Even the lowest persons in this world, there are books that can bring them out of those dark places. The crazy thing is, I think I'm gonna have to reread this book one day. I think I am. And it's on the front it say, "You never see it coming," because I don't forgot what came. I ain't gonna lie to you. What did she do? How amazing was it? She gave me, man. Come on, man. She gave me a piece of her journey, and that's the only book I ever read, y'all. And Sibo Campbell, I would read all the way through his book, but I listened to his. It's a new one, but I listened to it. I listened through Audible. But right now, I'm on page 208 of this one. But before I finish it, I want to talk about it. Okay, so let's jump on chapter 1. We'll talk chapter 1. I mean, hey, I'm finna break the ice. So if you ain't read this book, you might need to chime in and say, hey, I ain't read it. Because I don't care. When I do something, now I'm lit about this. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm on page 208. It's 4:30 in the morning. Boy, I'm lit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got Bible study at 6 with the guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm lit, dog. This is my Picasso right now, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. This is my Picasso right now. So if you ain't read it, if you don't know nothing about it, you might need to chime in. Hey, Vasco, don't spoil it for me. It's still getting spoiled, but just let everybody know it's getting spoiled for you. So, chapter 1, we learn a little bit about Alex Cross. We learn a little bit about Samson. We learn about, and all the way up to chapter 41, we learn about a lot of different people. So, I almost made a mistake. It's not a mistake, but the prologue says, "Let's play make believe," from 1932, and we learn about a murder or a kidnapping and a death, and a young boy. A boy about 12 years old wants to be famous. He wants to be iconic. He wants to know what fame feels like. And what he does is kidnaps a baby of a rich, wealthy, famous family in the middle of the night. But what he did was he planned out this kidnapping, right? In this story, he planned it out to the T, so that he could never be tracked. discovered or found. Planned it out and created a fake scenario very crazily. So walks up to the house in the middle of the night. It's a beautiful moment because his family is famous and everything about it is curated. From all the way down to the place and to the location of the home. He walks up. He climbs up this little ladder, crawls into the little baby's room, looks at the baby. As everything becomes real, it's like he grabs the baby, leaves out, and he buries the baby alive. And that's the prologue. That's the essence of the where we all take where the story's going. Where does Alex Cross come in? So Alex Cross is a black man, and his best friend's name is John Sampson. They call him. He's real tall, so they call him Two John. And Two John is not Alex's brother, but they are like brothers. And Alex is a he is a psychologist, and he's a detective, and so is Two John. So they both got this same backing. They both know deep truths about life that make a murderer, make a criminal, make a robber, a killer, or whatever. They know deep truths, and so they experience many things from the way they experience friends, the way they experience each other, the way they experience their families, the way they experience the murderers, the way they experience, dark rooms, quiet rooms, late nights, relationships, stuff like this. So between the two of them, the story grows. Let's go to chapter 1. Early on the morning of December 21st, 1992, I was a picture of contentment on the sun porch of our house on 5th Street in Washington, D.C. The small narrow room was cluttered with mild wing winter coats, work boots, and wounded children toys. I couldn't have cared less. This was home. I was playing Gershwin on our slightly out of tune, formerly grand piano. It was just past 5 a.m. and cold as a meat locker on the porch. I was prepared to sacrifice a little for an American imperative, or was prepared to sacrifice a little for an American in paradise. The phone jangled in the kitchen. Boom. And so, as I continue to flow through this, I'm gonna chop up a little bit. I'm not gonna read every detail. He said. Then he has a conversation with Nana. Nana is his grandma, or yeah, I believe it's his grandma, and he calls her Nana Mama. And he says, Nana, can you get that? He called from the porch. Is what it says. It's for you. You might as well get it yourself. My testy grandmother called back. No sense in me getting up too early. No sense means nonsense in my dictionary. That's not exactly what was said, but it went something like that. It always does. The thing is, the way James Patterson flows the work is he flows it from a gentleman's perspective. It's like a gentleman speaking, but then it's also like a gentleman reading when you're a gentleman reading, if that makes sense. And so we see Alex Cross. He lives with his grandmother. Um, doesn't have to. I mean, he's well to do, but he loves having her around because she is the mother he knows. She is someone that he loves deeply. And but later we'll find out his parents did die, and very young we find that out. And the thing is, that he loves her. So Nana Mama looked up from her steaming tea and runny eggs. She shot me one for the sanctimonious lady of one of her sanctimonious lady of the house looks because he was cussing. So she don't like all that. She's very, very the word would be like modern or modest. She said, "Watch your language, Alex," Nana Mama said. "Please watch your language so long as you are planning to live in this house. I'll be in there in about 10 minutes," I told Samson. I own this house, I said to Nana. She groaned as if she were hearing that terrible news for the first time. There's been another bad murder over in Langley Terrace. Okay, so in this book, we're dealing in this is FBI. This is crime novel. This is primetime TV, and it's as if we get to sit with him and experience the life of Alex Cross. Now, I do not have an obsession with learning and finding out about death, murder, crazy stories, but I do have an obsession with FBI and detectives, FBI work. I love FBI work, all the way down to each facet of it. And I mean, it's so many facets. There's many things that could play a factor. You FBI. We've seen James Bond. James Bond is a great example of it. We see things like Carmen San Diego. See things like Pink Panther. We see things like the Pink Panther with Beyonce in it, of course. Like Columbo, which we will be talking about in Pulsating Books. These types of things really attract me, and so it's one of the things that I really love. So let's let's talk a little bit about how James Patterson approaches books, according to everything we read so far. So he approaches the books as like it's the same way I approach Humans of the Ocean. I use Emmett as the example of science. Emmett is my scientific example according to reality. In reality, let's see. Let me get this right. I'm connected on live through my phone, so it was saying that I was having poor signal, but now connected to the Wi-Fi. So in reality, we we like for life to happen fast in a lot of cases, but sometimes we don't want it to happen too fast. You see, sometimes we want it to go slow, but we don't get to be the dictator. So we have to have a happy understanding with this is the pace that God has given us. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will be blessed and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Those types of things. Because if it gets too fast and you get nauseous, you want it to slow down, but you don't get to pick that. So you need to keep it slow. So what we're gonna do as we walk through this story real slowly, what all do we see slowly? What do we see? What do we see? Okay, that's the thing. And so what as we do it, I learned today that James Patterson does a very good job of this. Because for me, it wasn't until chapter was it 39? Let me see. It was chapter, I believe it was 39. Let me see. I'm looking for an interaction. Was it 40? You ain't possible. Or was it 30? I'm looking for an older lady who had a conversation with Alex. Wow. Isn't it 40? Oh, I'm tweaking. I'm tweaking. It was 35. That's it. So in chapter 35, I realized that James Patterson's patience played out. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I mean, I liked reading the story, but I didn't like it because I wanted to have my answer now. But by chapter 35, I get the break that I needed. I finally got a discovery in the case. I finally learned something new that I didn't already know. And of course, I was getting deeper information, but that information was not leading me to a discovery. It was leading me in a an observation. You see, more just like me observing until something finally was a moment. No more going forward. Now from this moment forward, we get to change the script. And Alex felt that same way too. He felt like that because something did happen where he got to change the narrative of the story. And in this book, Along Came a Spider, we realize through the character Gary Sanji, Sonaji, or Gary Murphy, that intelligence can often be misinterpreted as um, likableness. And in his case, his intelligence was, I believe it was trauma. Trauma from a childhood experience that never got handled. And so now I'm on chapter 40, 41. So we've done in chapter 41, we've already learned that Alex he's very particular about how he loves, yes, but how he interacts with those he loves. He's very particular about the things he does, and very particular about like every single relationship he has in his life. He knows the details. And as we watch through the story, he's building up a relationship with a girl named Jesse Flanagan, who he's really into. He just spent the night with her in chapter 40. He didn't stay the night, but it seems as though he stayed the night. I don't know if they finished the night together there, but Jesse Flanagan. Jesse just met his children too. He just met Janny and Damon. And as we walk through the story, just like I said, like very patiently doing this observation process, we start to see that there are more things going on in our life than meets the eye. There are so many things going on. When we actually write them down and look at them, that it could all seem like chaos. It could. But that's the state of human life that we have. We are living in human reality. We are living in according to human maturity. Like humans mature, humans grow, and humans change. But that don't mean that you got to change. That don't mean that you got to be different than you are. That just means that you should notice that you need to keep it at a, you know, constant rate. Keep your life moving at a constant rate. The way that James Patterson plays this out too is he gives us new findings about Alex. He gives us new findings about Samson. He, as in, like, Samson might pop up later in the story and say he's about to drink a beer, or he's really good with children, or he's really tall, or he's a ladies' man. Or if we got Alex's case, we see Alex as the guy who playing the piano, living with Nana Mama, has his kids right there. And then as we get deeper into the story, Alex is very known by a lot of people, even though he doesn't have a lot of friends. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but he's very known. And we see when Gary Sanjay / Murphy decides to, call for the ransom, he singles out Alex Cross because everybody knows there is a special FBI agent who does a really good job and who is a public individual. People know him. And Sanjay's goal is to reenact this Lindbergh, kidnapping and murder from this 12-year-old boy, reenact that and take claim of fame in this situation. So the little kids, there are 2 little kids being kidnapped in this story, according to Gary. Maggie Rose, and his name was like Goldberg or something. What was the little boy's name? Let me see. It's right. Michael Goldberg. Michael Goldberg pops up dead one day because of a bad inhalation. But Maggie Rose is still alive, suffering right now. Suffering in darkness. And we see her caught up in the spider's web. Caught up in the spider web in darkness. And Gary is just, he's toying with her. She's the object of the ransom. She's the object of everything. He's just, we see by chapter 41, he's just escaped the capture because of his lifelong obsession of doing this work. He's just escaped, not gotten caught because of a lucky tip. He got tipped by a little boy who said, "Oh, we see a police car just drove by." Oh, wait a minute. Police car? They coming for me. Ain't no police supposed to be over here. Not in this neighborhood. We supposed to be white. Well, we supposed to be all right. Ain't no police supposed to be coming nowhere near. But maybe they after me. Let me go to the basement and get on out of here. And he did that. Got in that basement. Transferred to another house. He was at a neighbor's. Walked out. They came into the house. Ruined the birthday party. But he got a clean getaway. You can't beat it. So he barely got tipped off in luck. So Alex said that was a huge moment because it was luck that saved him. Nothing else saved that man. Luck. Let me read the sentence. And Alex loved it. He did. Let me see where I said it at. But he loved it, but he hated it too because he knew that it was because of luck that he got away. And he hated it because he got away. And he knew that Jessie, the girl that he had spent some time with, also wanted to catch him. And they bonded there. Let me see. Let me see. Because right now we're looking at Alex over here. He over here he having a moment with the girl. Give me 1 second. There it is. So chapter 39, it says, one of the kids at the party had spotted a local police cruiser doing a ride-by minutes before we arrived in the neighborhood. The boy had innocently mentioned the police car to Mr. Murphy. He had escaped through sheer luck. We'd missed catching him by a few minutes at most. Sampson and I questioned Miss Murphy for more than an hour. We were finally going to learn something about the real Sanjay/Murphy. After all this time, they didn't really know anything about the real guy, because he was a slight, like, cross-dresser, if you will, because, like, you see how I look right here. You see, it was a Drewski skit. If y'all, I'm gonna just throw that out there. He painted himself white and he looked like a totally different person. But this guy was professionally doing this. Like, he would have his hair blonde, and then he'll put on a mustache, and he probably put on some glasses, put on some contacts, and all that stuff, put on a little makeup, make his cheeks look red or something, look totally different. And then, next you know, he show up as his real self, looking black hair, no mustache, no glasses, no contacts, no this, probably with some freckles, probably dressing totally different, looking like a nerd or something. Who knows? He was real smart. But then he switched it up again. Look like somebody else. Like, how you gonna figure this dude out if he keep doing this? Like, he just pops up killing people and you don't know why. You don't know what is causing this to be happening. So you're trying to figure it out. So Alex says, we're finally going to learn something about the real Sanjay/Murphy. So, and he says later on in the thing, in the such and such, he basically says, after all this time, so this is 40 chapters in. After all this time, he's finally going to hear this, and he can't get the questions for the wife out fast enough. I can't get the questions out fast enough, he says. Like, he's trying to stay patient, but at the same time, it's like, this dude is really toying with other human beings' life. Like, lady, you don't know what we need to do right now. Like, we gotta get this. We gotta figure out what his mind is, so we can know where he is at, where he going, what he gonna do. Cause we got him. We were seconds off from capturing him, but he got away. So he's about to go do something else to try to get himself into a free mode. But we can't let him get back free. We gotta do it right now. So what would he want to do right now? And you, lady, is his wife, but you don't know nothing about his life being this way. So you ain't helping us, but we don't want to treat you like you ain't no help. We want to treat you like a human being, but give us what you know. Give us what you know. Come on. Push it out. Push it out. You see what I'm saying? And she talking about his life. And soon enough, we hear it was other officers. So at this point, 40 chapters in, the whole community, this is in Washington, D.C., the whole community is like, we can't wait no longer. Like, get every officer, every detective, every person, everybody look. It's Christmas Day just passed, New Year, everything. And this is happening to a well-known family. And so everybody is in this house at this moment. These guys, there's about 7 guys downstairs checking the cellar. They call Alex. They say, Alex, while he's asking these questions, like he wants all these questions. They say, Alex, we need you to come check this out right now. And so I don't know exactly what it was that he went to go check out, but he went down into the cellar. And what it was there was a little bitty, like a shoe, something that the little girl was wearing whenever she was kidnapped. It was something she wore according to her school. She was in private school, and they would wear this so that they would all look similar. And he was planting these little things in places as the case was going on throughout these 40 chapters. And he was planning them to keep in, like, to play a game with the detectives as he grew his fame. And it was kind of weird, to the point where it was like, okay, so why are you playing these games, sir? Like, we is not trying to be doing this with you. Like, what are you doing? Stop. Don't do this. This is wrong. But he doing it, so you can't do nothing but let him do it. And another thing is, so when he goes down, they come to a cellar. So once in the book, Gary referred to the cellar as the mind of a dead man, a peaceful place. That was where Gary did a lot of his studying, a lot of his sitting in darkness. This is where he resided in darkness many times. So whenever his wife would come walk in, he cut on a light and pretend he was in light, with like not doing something weird. And so that was the situation. So I'm 208 pages into the book, yes, but I'm trying to lay it out for you guys so y'all can see what you're really dealing with. I know you want to discover this stuff on your own, but you got to get the book. You got to read it. You got to go get your copy, and you will. You feel me? You'll get it. But the thing is, check this. According to this book, this is just one of the many. I'm excited to read it. We read a lot of different types of books, but I'm excited to read this one because it's going to give us some insight, and it's going to give y'all some insight about what I like to do too. James Patterson patiently walks through the story, giving slowly. But as he gives, we get, yes, but as he gives, we also, walk through the story too. So we get a little bit too and give too. So I don't want to bore you guys with all these deep interpretations, but truly, we are in a great moment of understanding right now. So I'm gonna end the live on IG for now, because that is a Pulsating Book special. Along Came a Spider by James Patterson. Okay, and now the podcast is still rolling, and let us pause for, not end, but I gotta create this caption for IG real quick. Along Came a Spider by author James Patterson. Let me do this real quick, y'all. I'm trying to get it, but I still gotta do a review on the Den of Kings like episode, simply because I mean I'm gonna do some hot topics on it. Really, I ain't got to do too much, go too deep, but just know I talked to y'all about this and that, but we're gonna end this podcast. We're gonna just end this one now, and we'll start back up. That's what we'll do. Yeah, that's what we'll do.